Welcome to the Technocratic Union, at the threshold of the third decade of the 21st century. Neither the shiny monster, nor the gleaming knight, but the flawed machine crafted by gifted hands and all too human souls of people, tasked with illuminating a world of darkness by all available means. Welcome to a disunified union where the future follows unpredictable paths that could lead to majesty or ruin. Some elements of it seem all too familiar and others you've never seen before. Welcome to Onyx Path Virtual Con. We hope you're enjoying yourself so far. I know Matthew's tale was awesome, so I'm sure that was great if you were sticking around after that. We're Vorpal Tales, and we perform terrifying tales and awesome adventures every day of the week. Most days, twice a day. Come check us out at twitch.tv/VorpalTales, youtube.com/c/VorpalTales, and VorpalTales.com. You can enjoy all sorts of Onyx Path deliciousness with us, which currently includes Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage the Awakening, Mage the Ascension, and They Came From Beyond the Grave. Be sure you give the Onyx Path Twitch a follow during the con, and also drop a follow here at Dork Tales and at Vorpal Tales on our channel. All your support keeps awesome things like this going, and helps keep us all out of Room 101. Now let's get mutual. Enlightened Field Agents, let's tell everyone who you are, and who and what you're playing. Let's start with Dwayne.
Ooh, I am Dwayne, at Made of Kimchi on the internet. I will be playing KM21, a straight-up cyborg.
Excellent. Corey.
Hey, I'm Corey Frang, aka Narf on the internet, Narf37 some places. I am playing, why did I forget my name all of a sudden? I wrote it down in like 3 places. Dr. Sanders, Jackie or Jack, gender fluid, any pronouns, progenitor.
Excellent. Alan.
Hey guys, I'm Alan, also known as Hexenkers. You can find me on Twitter at @DEldridge_L. And today I'll be playing Mikael Hawthorne, your friendly neighborhood NWO.
Friendly.
Excellent. And Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben, better known as Big Dad. You might know me from Carry and Comfort Studios, where I do stuff. Today I am playing Eric Maxson, your local syndicate member. I'm the one that makes your money's worth something.
And last but not least, Meredith.
Hi, my name is Mary. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at ohhellomare. And I will be playing Alessandra De Soto, your Void Engineer.
And I am Eldritch Echoes. I will be your storyteller. For those curious, Made of Kimchi is he, him, Mare is she, her, Narf is they, them, Alan is he, him, I am he, him, and Ben is he, him. So, let's dive into our tale. So we're actually going to be using a tale from Operative's Dossier, which is not out yet, but keep your eyes peeled for when it does hit. It's a cool collection of short and long adventures specifically for Technocracy Reloaded, which you can still get in the backer kit. You should. It's awesome. The backer PDF is out, and it is slick and sexy. It is most excellent. I highly recommend you check it out. It is a great addition to Mage 20th Anniversary Edition.
Some of the best art I've seen out of the series so far.
I agree. Yep. Starting right with the cover. Okay. So, for the audience, me, myself, as the storyteller, will be running 3 Mage 20th games in the con. This is the first one. Will be followed later this afternoon, early evening, with the Victorian Age, and then ending tomorrow with Rich Bastard's Guide to Magic. And since we're running all 3, and we have several players in common, I've connected the stories. This is actually going to be one long 3-part tale. Each story will have a closed loop, but not for the people who carry over between stories. So in this case, Mare will be in both this and Victorian era. Ben is going to be in this and Rich Bastards, so he's a rich bastard already. And Alan will be in this and Victorian, but actually playing 2 different characters, but a shared soul. So, your mission will be to go find out why somebody sent out an emergency signal from Antarctica. Ultima Thule, isolated research station for the Void Engineers, exists in Antarctica and is an experimental facility for all kinds of fascinating experiments that are totally mutual all the time. So when we start, none of your characters actually know what happened, and none of your characters except Ben even know what's going on or what they're working on there. Eric, as played by Ben, Eric's character, you would know that Ultima Thule has a special new device, experimental, still in beta testing, that allows stabilized portals to be open to extra-dimensional spaces, from which you have been acquiring entities for experimentation, fusing them with other technocratic creations. So, taking EDEs and using them with victors. It's perfectly fine. This is all fine. This is what's happening at the facility. All you know, the rest of you know, is that an emergency distress call was sent out, and it repeated like it should do 4 or 5 times, and then went silent. That was about 2 days ago, because that's how long it took to put the team together, and you still have to get there. You've been briefed on what is known, except for the part that only Eric knows. Meredith, what's your character's name?
Alessandra DeSoto.
Alessandra, you also know that that facility works on extra-dimensional sciences, but you don't know specifically what, as you are the Void Engineer. As the closest and most readily available Void Engineer, you were put in charge of the squad. Find out what happened, contain if necessary. If things escape, don't let them get to the local population. That'd be very bad.
Fair enough.
Eric, you're put on the mission to protect the assets of the Technocracy. A lot of money was poured into this experiment. Try to ensure as little property damage as possible happens, and then make sure you recover at least some kind of data. Michael, you're here because if it does escape into the local population, somebody has to mind wipe all the locals. That'd be your job. And, maybe the other agents too if things go sideways. But we don't need to tell them that. So, KM21, you know why you're here. Shoot first, ask questions later.
Yep.
Obey Alessandra's orders. And last but not least, Dr. Sanders. Every emergency response team needs a corpsman, and it's basically the role you're fulfilling as a medic. Also, there's probably some fascinating science here, so you weren't too sad about the mission. At this stage, you've all been debriefed, and you were all basically given, Eric's given leave to cover whatever expenses he thinks are necessary for the team. And you have to figure out how to get there. There is a bad storm happening, in addition to which some kind of strange anomalous energy is coming out of the facility, so you cannot teleport in any closer than about 15 miles. Which you still could get that close if you wanted. If you could figure out how to also teleport the vehicles you probably need. You could also just go there the long way. The longer it takes to get there, the more time the creatures have if they've escaped to get to society. Also, none of you have worked together before as field agents. You were all pulled from your own amalgams and jammed into this one for this mission. So when the scene opens, you'll all be standing around where do we want to put this? You're all standing around outside on the roof of a construct whose name we will keep classified, somewhere in New York City, looking at a very advanced helicopter, waiting for orders on where it should whisk you off to, staring at each other awkwardly, waiting to break the ice. Begin!
So, when are we bugging out?
Sorry, what was that?
When are we bugging out?
Well, as soon as we get some sort of idea as to how to get through the storm down there. Hopefully we'll fly out soon. But yeah, so Alessandra DeSoto. I'll be leading you on this mission today.
Ma'am, Michael Hawthorne, NWO.
Pleasure. Doctor? I believe you're muted.
Is your voice okay, Dr.
Is
Sanders?
you okay, Doctor?
Nope. All right. I found the right combination of mute buttons. Yeah, I'm Dr. Sanders, Jack or Jackie.
It's a pleasure, Doctor. We're very fortunate to have you with us. I hope that we won't need your services too desperately, but I think we all kind of know that that may be the case. Hope you're ready.
I am ready to leave whenever.
Hmm?
I've always hated teleportation, but suppose if we can manage it.
Well, you get used to it over time.
So, Squad Sergeant Moneyman, what's your plan to get there? You're in New York City. You need to get to Antarctica.
Hey.
I have no idea.
That's exactly what your character would be thinking, too. Standing there in your $90,000 business suit, going, why am I going to Antarctica? Whose idea was this?
Who did I piss off?
Void engineers haven't figured out a way to get through the storm.
Is there a suborbital missile we can take?
The storm isn't the real problem. The storm just makes it harder. The real problem is that the facility is putting off anomalous energy, and you can't get within closer than 15 miles.
Hmm.
And if you just teleport yourselves in and you want to walk 15 miles through an Antarctic blizzard, that might not be wise either. But you might be able to do something about that. Reality is more malleable in Antarctica.
I don't find a problem with that.
And you are?
Is anyone not adapted to the cold?
The Antarctic cold?
Warm
There's cold.
Yeah.
There's Wisconsin cold. Then there's Antarctic cold.
Well, I assume both myself and KM should be fine to walk it.
It's not a problem.
Listen,
So,
if it's not a cool
everyone's telling-
75 degrees, no.
So you guys are telling me that we can't teleport a vehicle there and just go there by vehicle afterwards?
Are there any other Storyteller? Are there any other stations that would have been nearby outside of that 15-mile radius? Any other facilities that might have resources we could use?
Like McMurdo?
Yeah, there are...
Like people penguin hunting, like, anything.
Penguin hunting is frowned on, even by the technocracy, but...
Well, I mean, maybe penguin observation, but
You could go from McMurdo Station, but of course, you'd have to stow all of your cutting-edge technology that the locals aren't ready for if you did that. There are places in Argentina you could launch from, too, but then again, there's still the problem of the water between you and there. And there are a variety of small research stations in the area, in Antarctica. Closest one's probably 20 miles. It's not terrible.
Yeah, that would probably be a little bit easier at least. And then if they had any sort of vehicles at that research station, that would make some sense, right?
They
Like
would
a
have
snowcat.
Bearcats, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, so as long as we had something where we had some vehicles to get across the it's not like ice, it's like packed, it's like
Yeah,
spooky
It's
ice.
a tundra.
It's like bad ice. So yeah, so I think that would probably be that's my suggestion, would be for us to, at least if we can't get within that 15-mile radius, being able to get to another place, acquire their facilities and resources, something in that vein, if we're going to have to do this pleb style.
You're the boss.
Hey, hey.
KM21, your secret weapons are already part of you. But for the rest of you, is there anything you want to requisition if you have requisition dots that you don't already have listed as equipment or devices?
Actually, yeah. Do I have anything other than that?
Only what's listed in the Discord channel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so.
And for those of you newer to Technocracy, you can just say, does this exist? And I will tell you whether you can get it or not, even if you're making it up.
Okay, so, but I guess for me, as the token new kid, the list of devices that you sent me, are those a part of my requisitions?
Nope.
Dots? Or those are a part of my thing and then it's anything else beyond that, correct? All right.
Oh, you will also have Tundra clothing. I didn't put that.
That was my next question. Big coats.
So essentially, with Eric here, you can just claim mundane stuff, and you can have it. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want anything weird, then you got to ask me, and you can see if requisitions will get it.
Could I please have an example of something weird?
A laser gun.
A laser gun? I've got one of those. I've got a big one. I got the biggest gun here.
Phase plasma pulse rifle.
An environmental sustainable suit for your normal suit, like a mod, maybe. Just,
And for you, Mayor, as a fan of Stargate, if they had it in the show, you could probably get it.
A Stargate would be great. Let's put that down. There's one in Antarctica in the canon.
That's actually at the North Pole, but it does exist.
Oh, it's Antarctica.
That isn't in Antarctica, my friend.
There's the episode where they warped there by
Where they
accident.
went through and General O'Neill, or not, he wasn't General.
Nerds!
But where O'Neill at the time ended up getting in touch with the ancients. Sorry, crossing the streams here. My bad.
That's just called information misdirection. The Technocracy doesn't want people to know where the real one is.
I see what you did there. Yeah, so I'm thinking. So the things that we're down there to try and get, if we have any sort of like shoot and destroy things, I think we've got that. We would have various things like tasers, like like different things like that to.
How many dots and firearms do you have?
I have a few. I have 3.
How about energy weapons?
I'm counting that as firearms for the one shot.
Okay.
Make it easy.
Okay.
All right. In that case, maybe you should see if we can pool together and get a NIMBY. There's a gun called the NIMBY 500. Is that right? I don't remember how many zeros were after it, but not in my backyard is what it stands for, and it ejects any EDEs from this world.
How many dots total do you have of requisitions between the group?
I had
2.
That's 5. Anybody else?
I don't.
That I don't plan on using.
I don't.
Okay.
I have nothing.
So, either Eric's character or the squad leader can try to roll for that. You would get a 5 dice pool against a super secret number of successes that I will determine.
All right, so just
However,
roll 5.
Well, no. Whichever of you, there will be a bonus for swaying Q division. That's why one of you has to decide who's the better face, which would be a combination of social talents and social attributes. So charisma, manipulation, appearance, plus like expression or empathy or subterfuge.
Question on that. Can I help influence this by offering to increase Q Division's budget?
Ooh.
If you're the one doing that, yes. How many dots of resources do you have?
7.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus. Throw money at the problem.
I also have manipulation and subterfuge 6, so
that's you rolling. So you can actually roll a dice pool of 7.
difficulty?
6.
Is everyone cool with that before I do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually just wait for people to install shit on me, but if you're gonna go and get stuff from people, that's
So
cool.
you said it was 6.
I assume the syndicate person is here to get us through the red tape. So
Or
I'll let you go.
with difficulty 6.
Sorry, you got 4?
Yep. If it's
Excellent.
6.
Okay. Yes, you're able to requisition it. But that does use up your 5 dots.
Throwing money in.
That's cool as shit, though. I'll
How much for some nanobots? I like that in chat. Just here, tiny robots.
I already have nanobots.
You have nanobots, perfect. Love them. They're like sea monkeys, but helpful.
And permanent paradox.
Oh, and permanent paradox. Apart from that,
It's M20. Paradox isn't bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Paradox is like a small threat.
Oh no.
Speaking of which, it's a small threat. KM21, you have 3 permanent paradox.
Yes.
KM21 is full walking cyborg. Only assigned to this mission because it's in Antarctica. KM21 cannot exist in normal places. Even being on this roof is causing some slight malfunctions.
we need to get going.
I also believe I have 2 dots of permanent paradox.
Yes, you do. I think you two are the only ones with permanent paradox. Does anybody else have enhancements at higher than 2 dots?
I have 2 dots.
You're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, enhancement 1.
You're okay.
So I suppose at this point, would we be able to teleport ourselves at least to one of the nearest stations and then acquire one of their bearcats?
So it depends. Are you going to try to do it yourselves, or are you going to take the helicopter to an actual rapid deployment facility? There is one connected to the subway in New York.
That sounds safer.
It is, because then you don't have to dice roll.
That's my favorite.
It will, however, give you all 1 paradox. You can mark it on your sheets. You should have a wheel at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Paradox starts at the bottom left,
And it goes to the right.
counterclockwise. You should also have quintessence going clockwise from the right, from the
Equal
top.
to our genius.
Correct. So
Yeah.
your wheel is going to have some boxes checked off at the top,
Okay.
and then at the bottom 1 plus whatever your permanent is. The top should equal your genius, which is a background.
Mhm.
Quintessence, what you call primal energy, is an energy source that is contained in your equipment that you can tap into to overpower your devices. Translation: mechanically, you can use it to reduce the difficulty of casting spells.
I like the sound
However,
of that.
it's hard to recharge, especially in Antarctica. So use it wisely.
So
Well,
just
luckily,
as
The
the new
NIMBY
kid.
has a battery.
Oh.
Yes.
So as the new kid asking questions, so you said genius matches the number that we have under primal energy?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. I think it looks okay. So that would be our 1 paradox and 3 then.
Yep.
So
And
that's
the reason they're on the same wheel is you can never have more quintessence than paradox. It's a hard stop. Eventually they meet each other. Although, if your paradox goes that far, you're gonna die. You're gonna explode.
You
That's
don't need
a
to
Just
be
might
worrying
spend some
about
time off world for a little while.
Yeah.
go pop on over in the
Rehab
arcade,
facility in the dark side of the moon.
Make my way over to the Pegasus Galaxy. Just little pit pop out of here.
Unlike Awakening, Paradox is not rolled prior to the spell. It accrues, and then I randomly decide when it erupts. Then I roll the dice.
Oh, so this has no pre-roll to it.
And then I roll the dice quietly, and either you'll take physical damage, or you'll start going slightly insane, and then more insane, and then totally insane to where you can't interact with normal reality anymore.
That's a little tricky,
And
but
we
okay.
have to kill you.
Yes.
Hmm.
It's very
When a-
unmutual.
When
Good
a
luck.
when an Ascension mage goes fully mad, they become a marauder, where their version of reality becomes what's real in a bubble around them. The size of the bubble depends on your gnosis. So, like, if you thought you were Don Quixote and you walked into a building, everyone in the building would turn into medieval peasants. It's slightly terrifying.
That is absolutely terrifying.
Terrifying, they're fun to play.
I know
Now-
that sounds fun, but we'll see how it goes.
They are. So, There is a sixth member of your team also
Oh.
that I have somewhere, who was specifically assigned to your team by the supervisor who gave you the mission, because this
Nerd.
person has the necessary knowledge to bypass any lockdowns and access the information inside the facility, because he's a coding expert, a technocracy quantum crystal computer coding expert. A thing none of you could do. You might have dots of computer, but not in trinary computing.
All right.
If I can find it. Oh, yes, there it is. Okay. He looks a lot like Michael's character, except he's wearing a very nice suit, but it's not nearly as expensive as Eric's. Eric's suit is also enhanced by devices. It makes you all want to defer to him and agree with what he says, just looking at the suit. As opposed to Michael's suit, which, when you look at it, you almost forget Michael's there. Then you're slightly afraid. You don't know why. Well, you're technocrats. You do know why. This guy is wearing a suit that's like Michael's and not nearly as expensive as Eric's. However, it doesn't have any supernatural effect when you look at it. He immediately starts complaining, too, once you get on the helicopter, about how this is yet again another technocratic experiment that's failed because we're always overreaching. His name is Matt.
You know, it takes a little bit of overreach sometimes to achieve greatness.
Perhaps, but we overreach all the time. It's not a little.
Great risk, great reward.
I look at the cyborg next to us for a second and don't say anything.
Exactly.
He just kind of rolls his eyes at Dr. Sanders, but stops complaining. You arrive at the subway, and you take a subway train all the way to the end, and then you get off, and you walk to the end of the platform. You hop off the platform, you hit about another block down the maintenance rail, into a platform that shouldn't be there, but is. This one's very sleek and modern compared to the others. And you walk away from the trains, but also away from the surface street, deeper into the tunnels. And it opens out and into a larger, wider platform with 3 trains at the end, all on different rails. They are very sleek, and they look very much like bullet trains if they were 50 years ahead of our current technology with metallurgy. And one of them has its doors open and is waiting. The other 2 are taking off. And you see the other 2, the doors close, and then all the windows become opaque like the lights went out. And then there's this winding sound like engine firing up, and then they just disappear. And a split second later, the sound barrier breaks and everything vibrates. Your train awaits.
Here's our stop.
All right, so Michael gets on.
Alessandra does as well.
Eric heads for first class.
Yeah. Before KM gets on, she would have had to rip off the shirt and pants that she was forced to wear because we were probably standing around other people.
Matt says this is a terrible idea, but he gets on the train. Everyone is on the train?
Yeah. I
Yes.
believe so.
Okay. There are seats, but they look more like the seats you wear in a military transport plane because it's a full body harness, not just a seatbelt. You strap yourselves in, and you wait, and then the train launches. And there's no feeling of acceleration. There's like a slight vibration, like a bump. And you all look at each other and prepare to make small talk, and the train stops. And the doors open, and a massive blast of cold wind blows in.
Get my
Alessandra.
gear on.
Yeah, Alessandra is immediately putting on the Tundra gear. It's just like
Your gear. Time to go.
So much better than taking a taxi.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weird sensation of vertigo and like massive pressure change, but still.
It is what it is.
You all exit the train and take a 15-minute walk where it gets consistently and steadily colder out from another advanced platform that it ultimately becomes just like a hewn tunnel through the ice with an upward slope that has like a gritty grade to it so you don't slip. And then you pop out alongside a tunnel that's basically got a sign next to it that says United States Geological Ice Core Facility, no trespassing. And you look around and you can see the remote scientific station about 200 yards away from you.
Is that the like sleepers station, or is it
Yeah.
one of ours? All right.
That's a sleeper station, but you have your own dig here and a constant 1 or 2 technocrats monitor to it to make sure nobody gets nosy and goes inside.
Because the only other technocrat station is the one that we're making our way to, right? Or the nearest other one that would be.
Only one you're aware of, yes.
There. Did anyone in our party know of any other stations? Maybe the people who are help funding it? Looks at Max.
Eric does, but he wouldn't tell you that because you don't have that security clearance.
We're already here. Michael, would you like to see if these people will become mutual for us?
So, make my way to the station.
Okay.
Try to talk him into loaning us one of those vehicles. I point it.
So the rest of you are just going to hang out and wait while he goes inside?
Can I have that?
You can
Yeah.
follow him in if you want, but you wouldn't see a need to.
Yeah.
I can handle the cold, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael, you walk up to the bunker, and you pull open the door and walk inside to see 4 very surprised-looking scientists. 2 ladies, a gentleman, and a non-binary person going over some core samples, and they're like, "What the fuck are you? How'd you get here?"
What you looking for? Oh, okay, so
Except for the non-binary person who just looks at you and gives you a very slight nod.
Hmm.
okay, so how would I go about this?
The non-binary person very subtly puts on sunglasses. You do have it, even though it's not in your equipment. You have it for the civilians. So basically, you could just do a mind procedure to make them forget you were here and grab some keys if you want.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to be an Everté roll.
Yep.
All right. What's the success threshold that I have to reach?
2 will do it, so it might take a couple turns, and then roll it first, and that will determine how much small talk you have to role play.
All right, here we go. So difficulty 6, right?
Yep.
Mhm. Okay, so 1 success. Second roll. 1 success, so that's 2 successes.
So it only takes about 20 seconds to power up the device. You can monologue this how you want, and they are just peppering you with questions, except for the plant.
Okay. So basically it's a mind effect, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
You can straight up Men in Black it or do it your own way. I don't care.
So basically I have a neural implant that emits waves and it alters their brain makeup directly. And yeah, so they suddenly feel like, oh, let's go back to our normal work because nothing actually happened. And I am looking for keys.
Okay. They immediately stop questioning you, turn around as a unit, and ignore your existence for one scene. The other person walks up to you and says, "Yeah, so we got the distress signal, but I can't get any readings off of it." And he hands you a data pad and says, "For whoever your scientist is."
Thank you.
And then they
Keys.
drop you
Outside.
2 sets of keys they already had ready for you.
Excellent.
They think these 2 are up for maintenance. They won't notice they're missing for at least a week.
All right. Perfect. Anything else?
Don't freeze to death.
Where did they park the car? Because that might be hard to figure out.
These two are in the maintenance shed because they think they're
Yeah.
broken.
All right, perfect. So I make my way back out and go to Dr. Sanders.
Okay. About 10 minutes later, Michael returns with 2 sets of keys and a data pad. And you all follow him up to where the looks like 3 working Bearcats are parked, and then behind that, another 20 or 30 yards to what is clearly a maintenance shed because it's got a bunch of broken down stuff around the outside of it, parts you can't fit inside of it, and 2 Bearcats that look like they're halfway dismantled.
I thought you said they only thought these were set for maintenance.
I got 2 sets of keys. Are both of them look like they're like non-operational?
They look like it, yeah.
Okay.
Is there any sort of cloaking or anything on them to make them look like that? Or
It's a good question.
I'm
You
gonna
got a
give
way
the
to
data
scan
pad-
for that?
do I have a
I'm gonna
what? Oh yeah. Alessandra reaches for the keys.
Throw her one of the. I throw one of the set of the keys to Alessandra.
I'm trying to think. So, like, would just okay, because I know that this is a little more not loosey goosey is not the word I'm looking for, but like coming from the other ones, you can kind of just say so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I can just kind of say I have something that can detect for, like, using.
1
I
dot
don't
in a
know.
sphere lets you roll Arete to sense that sphere. So in your case, forces or correspondence, or I
Correspondence.
can't remember what your third one is. Yes,
Dimensional science.
Dimensional science.
yes. Which for you would translate as you have some kind of tricorder or a handheld device or an app that does it, or an eye implant, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, I'll definitely have that because I do know that I have some cool sensory things going on. Yeah, I would definitely like to see if I can see if these are actually busted or if they are simply disguised as being busted.
So roll your Arete as a dice pool against a difficulty of 4.
Okay, so it would be my dice pool would be correspondence, just
Arete.
correspondence. Arete, what is that?
I'd like to bring up my senses too. While we're
Oh,
doing
well, on
this.
your sheet it probably says
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. Okay, cool. So it would be enlightenment and what? I'm so sorry.
just enlightenment for this one.
Just enlightenment. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna roll it an astral real quick.
I got 2 successes to bring up. Hopefully, matter and prime sense.
I've got 2 9s, 2 successes of that for enlightenment.
Okay. The way the engine works, this is for Alessandra. The way the engine works has been modified. It is redirecting. It is not using traditional combustion power. It has been heavily modified. That's all you can tell. However, Dr. Sanders, you can tell that, yeah, a matter procedure was done on this to make it look broken, but everything still operates correctly. It's just the matter has been rearranged, but the function has not.
Though it looks screwed up, this thing is in perfect working order.
All right. Then let's get going. Do we know?
So there's 2 of them. You'll need 2 drivers, and because they're Bearcats, you will need dots and drive to operate them.
Not me.
I can drive.
Okay. Anybody else?
I can drive.
Okay.
Unless someone else
I
has.
got 1 dot of drive.
Yeah, so do I.
I've got 3.
Oh, well.
And you can drive.
Can I drive both of them just side by side like the Volvo commercial?
I mean, you
Gotcha.
could with the forces procedure, yes. You could wire them together like Terminatrix and whatever Terminator movie that was.
Nah, this isn't the me show.
And
Someone
yeah,
else.
you can pilot starships. You can definitely drive a Bearcat.
Yeah.
So before we go on our way, I actually give the data pad to Dr. Sanders.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you can check that before you head out if you want.
I'm gonna try to download all the information in the pad and process it.
So give me a straight arete roll, difficulty 5. Any successes, you get a bonus dice to the reading of the information roll.
I don't know that I have any spheres that would. I don't have data.
This
so
is just
I don't know if
raw.
that-
I know how to read
Okay.
technocratic data.
All right, sure. 1 success.
So then you can roll.
Okay.
You can either roll science or academics plus intelligence plus 1 bonus die. Difficulty 6. Whichever's better for you, science or academics.
Sure. Yeah. That's 8 dice. Do I have the right number? I do. 1, 2, 3, 4 minus 1 for that one, so 3.
Okay, 3 is definitely a full success. The information on the pad shows a variety of energy readings that make no sense to you because you don't have forces. It also shows...
I'll slide that to someone with forces.
Yep. It also has information available to someone with Prime.
I've got 2, but I also CC the syndicate.
Okay. Not the syndicate. And it has...
Just assuming, because
Yeah.
they are usually Prime experts.
I'm as surprised as you.
You were geared more for rich bastards. It'll make sense then. What did I give you besides luck?
I have entropy, correspondence, and time.
You can swap the correspondence for Prime. That probably makes more sense.
Done.
And then there's information on there to somebody who has matter, so I guess that's also you.
I've got 2, but if anyone else is also registered as a... I'll probably also CC the iteration X.
So
Yeah, I've got forces 3, life 2, and matter 2.
So let's go ahead and have spread the love out. We'll have Eric roll some arete, KM21 can roll some arete, and Alessandra can roll some arete. Difficulty 4 for all of you.
Enlightenment, Tyler. Enlightenment.
I want you all to be unmutual.
We're good agents, Tyler. We have enlightenment.
3 successes.
Which one were you? Matter?
Probably forces. I had 3, and if anybody had higher than that.
I have forces 2. Yeah.
All right, what'd you get, Eric?
2 on prime.
And then you can roll for the matter, Dr. Sanders.
Sure. Was that another science or?
Enlightenment just
RT.
did 4.
All right. Just the
Yep.
enlightenment. Right, yeah. I just did it.
Now I got you doing it.
You got me do it. Oh, holy. Uh-oh. Why are you asking me for extra enlightenment rolls? That's a -1 botch there. I'll spend a willpower to stave it off, though.
Okay. So
I'll take the paradox, but
yeah,
I assume.
you get the 1 paradox, but you don't fail to roll. So what you get is that around the time the emergency beacon went off, there was a massive change to the substructure of the area around the facility. Like, the density of the ice pack and the ground itself changed. But you can't figure out anything else than that because the data is partially corrupted, represented by the bat roll. For Cyborg, the energy emanations coming off of here are extremely unnatural, at least for Earth. You don't know about other dimensions, it's not your forte. But yeah, like, the energy readings are not normal. They're not natural and should not naturally occur. And even if, like, there was a massive leak of some kind of energy you're aware of, it wouldn't look like this. However, there is a massive power signature inside the station. There's some kind of reactor in there that both takes and puts out a massive amount of energy. It's gravitational. And then for Eric, yeah, the prime in this whole zone is broken. So the primal energy here is in flux, and the wavelengths are way off the charts, which basically means you're going to have random magical effects just doing anything in here.
Oh no.
Your devices are going to be haywire.
Hey,
Oh no.
I don't like that.
I mean, my body is just gonna go haywire.
Yeah. What about the Iteration X?
Yeah, do you have like one of those fail safes in your head to worry
The
about?
Iteration X has premium countermeasures built in.
I do.
2 or 3 dice worth.
Yep.
Good.
Let's just hope I roll well.
So, premium countermeasures for this effect will reduce the severity 1 for 1. You only have to roll premium if you're being assaulted directly.
Got it.
Ambient stuff, it just reduces penalty. That's what you get. You fire up your Bearcats, and now I'm going to need wits plus perception plus drive rolls from the pilots.
Okay.
So Alessandro was gonna drive one. Who's gonna drive the second one?
The space pilot.
That I am the space pilot. I'm driving one of them.
Oh, you said Alessandro. You're driving the other one, Cam.
Oh. Said wits
Eyes
and
on
drive.
the road.
Perception plus drive.
Oh, perception drive.
All right.
Difficulty.
2 10s.
Always 6 unless I say otherwise. And for the purpose of the one shot, 10s will just double.
Cool.
So
So
that's
that's 1,
5.
2. That's 5 successes.
Critical
Wait,
success. This is just a Tuesday. 2 10s and a 9 is 5 because the 10s double.
Okay. So yeah. So it's 8 and up. Correct.
6 and up for this game.
6 and up for this game. Thank you.
This game has a fluctuating target number, but if I don't tell you, it's always 6.
Would
That's-
that not be?
that's-
Would that not be 6 successes in that? Because the 7, 9, 10.
Oh, if you
10?
got a 7, yeah.
Yeah. So yes.
Yeah. So 7, 9, 10, 10. I'll take these rolls. I hope that these last.
And in this
Two.
game,
My
successes.
my 2, 1, and a 2 on my last enlightenment disagree with.
so in World of Darkness, 1 success is marginal, 3 is complete, 5 is critical. Above 5 doesn't really matter unless it's contested.
Sweet.
So, this is just another day in the park for Alessandro. You easily pull ahead of KM21, who's having trouble with the blizzard. So, who's in which Bearcat? You can divide up how you want, but a Bearcat can only hold 3.
Doesn't matter for me.
I'm with KM.
Like stupid primitive mechanical bullshit.
Who was the other person who had drive? Like 1 dot. It was Michael or Mikhail.
Mhm.
Maybe you should also go with KM just in case.
All right.
I'll go with the expert pilot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take the doctor because I want to have one of those explain it to me like I'm 5 moments, like as far as the stuff getting filled in by what came off the tablet.
All right.
Yeah, I'll regurgitate all the information that we found and describe that the matter around shifted somehow, but the data was corrupt in the scan, and I was unable to determine exactly. KM discovered that there's some sort of, was it radiation?
Or
Energy?
gravitation. Was it
Gravitational.
Gravitational.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some sort of gravitational energy surge happened at the same time. And what was the prime reveal? I'm sorry.
It was fluctuating so wildly it was off the chart, meaning mechanically it'll screw with your spells all the time.
Yeah. So, enlightened science devices may be compromised.
Great.
The more prototype, the worse the compromise.
This explains why the distress signal came through. Because if it affected everybody's devices, then I don't know.
Yeah. And it explains why they wouldn't be able to continue communication.
Exactly.
So then Matt will ride with KM21 because Eric said he's... Oh, wait. Who are you riding with, Eric?
KM.
So yeah, Matt will ride with the doctor and the pilot.
So Matt gets filled in too.
Cool. Does any of this information mean anything to Matt? Particularly knowing that he's going to be helping us get through these lockdown procedures?
Yes.
What if-
You immediately learn something about Matt. He's not helpful unless he's asked to be. So I guess he has a bit of an arrogant streak, maybe? You don't know.
So then Gruff, not very happy right now, Alessandra looks at him and is like, does this mean anything to you? Or what?
He says, "Can I?" Looking at the doctor. He wants the tablet.
Yeah.
He swipes through it, and he hands it back, and he says, "Yeah. The permafrost in the substratum in this area has been replaced with something from somewhere else. It's not the same."
Any idea what it might be? Like lead?
These minerals don't exist on Earth. Some are in common, but most aren't. Carbon, silicone, those exist here. The rest of this, I don't know what it is.
Would any of this mean anything with Alessandra, given her dimensional science and anything going? Because if it's not of this Earth, would it be from that dimensional sphere?
That's would be your assumption, is that it's from a different planet. Because to you, other dimensions are just space.
Just space.
Or, you
Yeah.
know, like
Where
other,
the blobs
other
of the
versions of
universe-
Earth, right?
Where the blobs of the universe touch.
Right. For you, it's not going into the astral or visiting the realm of the dead. For you, it's just there are other
Space.
dimensions, and it's space.
Final frontier.
But terrible things exist in space in alternate dimensions.
I know. So, all right. So, yeah, I guess just kind of stewing on that because, and it would not be, is there a way to check to see if any of those minerals or anything that Alessandra would recognize?
Sure. Do a science plus wits check. Difficulty
Alright.
6.
Okay. Science plus wits.
And then add your dots in dimensional sciences bonus die.
What do you mean add, like as in just add
If you
those?
have 2 dots in dimensional
more dice,
science,
yeah.
you get 2 more bonus
3 more
die.
dice?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be, so I've got 6 from the science and wits, and then, so that would be a total 9. Am I correct?
Yep.
Sounds right.
I'll take it. Fingers crossed. Huh? Yeah? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes?
You're taking away all of Corey's rolls, apparently.
I'm sorry, Corey.
Someone has to be the paradox magnet.
That's
Listen,
right.
it's the beginner's luck. I'll take it.
Yes, you've never been to this particular dimension, but you've heard of it existing. They've found ancient portals on a variety of different planets your people have visited, and it's basically the Doom reality. You know, like in Doom where they open the portal and hell comes out. That's what it is. Except it's not fire. It's actually frozen wasteland.
So would this look kind of like an oops or like a...
Yeah, you're pretty sure this is not on purpose.
This is not on purpose. Okay, just making sure that this would be... No one would sit there and say, hey, let's just tap, 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 get this. Okay, cool.
So
The
somebody in that
Technocracy's-
facility summoned a portal to frozen hell.
Yeah.
They're
Technocracy's
already-
overriding goal is to protect Earth from shit like this, so they would definitely not bring it here.
Great. The Naquita. Thank you. There it is. Yeah, okay. So knowing this, Alessandra would relay that back to the folks that are in here. Like, is like with her driving ability is like one hand on the wheel, looking, texting and driving kind of style, with the tablet, looking at this like, oh, okay. And then says, lets them know on that end. Do we have radios in these to tell everybody else in the
Yes.
I'm in communication with KM.
Yeah.
I'm
You
assuming
you
because
have
I have the DEI plus, so I also am kind of a walking computer.
you also
Oh.
all have the non-device version of the VDOS, which is a technocratic cell phone that works everywhere. You never don't have signal, even in space. So yes, you
Like
can
that?
use those to communicate through your earpieces.
Cool.
It is actually a little staticky, which is weird, though, as you get closer to the facility. Matt says, "Oh, great. Hell, that's awesome."
As we just keep driving, shifts it into another gear.
What sort of I mean, luckily it's frozen hell. I happen to be adapted to frozen environments. But
He pulls up his VDOS and swipes so that it goes across to yours. It's the not better gift.
But I wonder if we can do anything to help ensure our tech doesn't get affected by this field.
Yes, someone with Prime could try that.
To
basically it'd be a Prime 2 ward.
I'm gonna see if I can do anything for our communications tech at the least.
And then Eric, you can do the same thing for your ride because you're in different rides.
I will do that. Yep.
Difficulty 5 for both of you. Enlightenment.
Would
I'll spend a willpower for an auto success.
Okay.
Would linking everybody telepathically help?
It can't hurt. That'd be
I like
2 10s.
But,
2 10s. Okay.
I got a total of 5 successes with my
There you go.
with my willpower.
Nice.
I got 7, 8, 10, and a willpower.
So, Eric, how long did you... If you had cast this the right way, what would you have chosen for duration?
Let's see. I would say a week, but that's probably not long enough. Can I just sustain it and take the penalty for sustaining effect?
Yes. Same question for the doctor.
In and out in a day, I ask the leader.
Matt just laughs.
You think?
Sure, that's how this always works.
One way or another, probably.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll update it in a day. I'm trying to make it last for about a day.
That works. No, we'll check in. and
About
see how-
24 hours.
So you got 5 successes, you said?
Yep.
So then, yeah, that leaves enough leftover successes to get all 3 of you. And then, since you're sustaining, Eric, you could get E3, all 3 of you easily. Now, Michael, yes. Michaela, yes, you could link them telepathically, but you probably want to do that when you're all together because it'd be much harder right now because you're about a half mile
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah. Afterwards, once we get off.
Yeah. Yeah. So with the successes you got, you will mitigate most of the penalty for all of you except for the cyborg, who, with your premium, mitigates the entire penalty. You all arrive at the outskirts of the facility. There is a visual distortion field in effect, which means you're just driving towards a mountain in the horizon. And then there's a distortion as you pass through a field. And then there's a sleek modern dome. It's clearly far more advanced than anything most people have. That could easily contain a high school. And then the outside of it just has 2 outbuildings that are essentially garages. You don't see any people outside.
Void engineers sure do love domes, don't they?
Yes,
If
yes
it
they
works,
do.
it works.
This is probably something Cam would have at least looked up upon getting the mission, but now I'm thinking about it. Would we know of any actual perimeter defenses if someone was to get past?
Yes, absolutely. And I will let you role-play that scene out for a moment and go ahead and roll your enlightenment. Also, Michael, if you get at least 2 successes, you succeed. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, so since Cam is bringing up the rear
Mhm.
in this jalopy-ish bearcat piece of garbage.
He wants me to roll enlightenment, right?
Yes.
2 successes. All good.
probably complaining about why this thing is still running off of fossil fuels.
Listen, Tesla hasn't made a Bearcat yet. So when they get on that train, we'll work with that.
Too successive.
Okay, you are telepathically linked for now.
Now we don't need to move our lips. Great.
There's immediately just a wall of complaining noise from Matt.
There is immediately violent images of things happening to Matt coming from Alessandra.
He rolls his eyes at you.
KM will actually say out loud, can we keep the head noise to a minimum?
And then you all sit through it and you're like, wait. 1, 2, 3. It's dead silence coming from KM. The premium countermeasures are rejecting the telepathy. You can hear them, though.
Oh, no.
Their noise is in your head. So yeah, saying it out loud, Matt sighs heavily and it just becomes background noise, like a white noise machine on low.
All right, let's go.
Refinance your mortgage now.
It's actually more like Newt on a loop. They mostly come out at night, mostly, and then the Red Queen every now and then. You're all going to die down here.
Jackie's probably browsing the internet, reading up on science journals.
So yeah,
When you break into their mind, you realize it's connected to
Just
the internet.
Yep.
Like, so you really keep that on your bookmarks? Gosh.
So what do you do, KM? You're looking at a walk from here to the facility that you're sure is not perfectly safe. Remember, your NPC, who's the computer guy, won't do shit unless someone tells him to.
Well, I do have cloaking. Guess I could try and stealth drag him along. Can
Make
he
a perception
access,
plus computer roll.
Yeah, can he access remotely?
Yeah, okay.
Is this air gapped?
I was about to say, if you didn't say that, I was going to have you roll perception to realize your cybernetic implants are picking up on a Wi-Fi signal. It's password protected.
Aha.
It is a 10 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal.
Of course.
It's probably weakened by the unit storm. So you can
Do I have
tell-
the ability to hack that? Or is that something that Matt will have to do?
Yeah, you cannot hack that cipher.
Password technocracy too.
Well, since you're telepathically linked, you see him, his brain doing the process while he interfaces with his tablet. And it does pop up in his head, so you do all see it. And it's actually Stargate SG3 ## ! He enters the Wi-Fi
Who picks these
password.
passwords?
Apparently a void engineer.
Yeah, it had to be a void engineer.
Yeah.
You guys never know how close they are. Vancouver knew what was going on. They know too much.
In your case,
Other way
Dr.
around.
Sanders. In your case, Dr. Sanders, you've been to void engineer facilities before, and you're just glad it's not another Star Trek or Battlestar Galactica password.
The Star Trek facilities are much worse. Stargate, I think we can get behind.
At
Nobody
least we got them
uses-
to stop
Nobody uses Star Wars, though, because those are reality deviants.
Battlefield
Anyways.
Earth.
Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth.
Farscape.
No, the Empire
Red
was
Dwarf.
right. There's one out there that's the Empire was right. Is the password.
So you can now approach the facility, but it's still in lockdown mode. And he tells you that whatever happened in there, he can't override it. You're going to have to force the door.
I'm sorry. Aren't you supposed to be the one to get it out of lockdown?
Yep, can't do it from the wireless, though. We have to get inside. I didn't program this. Your people did.
Can I use a leadership test to give people that try a bonus on their attempts to get in?
You can. Roll it.
$5,000 to whoever gets the door open.
Go ahead and roll it against difficulty of 6. With charisma or manipulation, whatever's better.
You got it. Three successes.
Okay. Yep. You can give +2 bonus to whoever rolls to bypass the door. +2 dice.
What would what? We're looking at strength or like I don't know,
Depends.
firearms to
You want to try to pry the door open or blow a hole in it? It's your call.
I know what my choice would be. I just don't know if that's the best choice.
Or something fun with matter.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a pneumatically sealed door.
I have a side thing to do while they're thinking of how to get through that.
Okay.
I would like to spend some time injecting some nano supplements to increase my stamina and intelligence on a concentration basis, and take however much time I can ritually to do so.
Okay. 2 successes per dot. Wait, how many dots do you have in life?
3.
Okay,
Alter self.
1 success per dot, but you need 2 successes before you can start counting.
Right. And how many rolls do you think I could get in before we...
What's your enlightenment?
3?
You can get all 4 rolls in.
Okay. Oh, holy shit. 4 successes on the first roll.
Good start.
Life 3, so 2 successes on the second roll. 7 total, so that's
2 minus
okay.
duration, and then the leftover.
Yeah, well, I'll go concentration for duration.
Okay.
And then I'll throw some extra in strength because I can't go any higher in stamina.
Okay.
Cool.
So
I'm now super buff looking, like all my muscles like expand and like my skin seems to harden.
Yeah.
Unnaturally so.
In the hypo he pulled out looked like one of those old style actual military hypos, not like a needle injector, except sleeker. And the liquid inside of it is green and like it bubbles on its own.
All right, Mr. Hyde.
It changes the color of his eyes to a weird silver. Their eyes.
My
to a weird
stamina
silver.
and are 6, and my strength is 5 now. So.
Jeez.
So what about that door?
I'm gonna see if I can try to force it open.
Okay.
After you.
Strength plus athletics.
I also have matter too.
Yeah, you can add that as bonus dice to the roll.
Looking for a weak point or something.
Could I assist with a spell as well?
Yep. What do you want to do? What sphere do you want to use?
So force 2, help him by adding pressure, manipulating gravitational fields.
Yeah.
All right.
Difficulty.
So around he's going to try to like force it open, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to assist by trying to pull the door at the same time he does, but I use gravitational fields to pull it apart while he's doing it physically.
Difficulty 7. Because you're battling the weird gravitational field inside.
Fair enough.
Only 4 successes on that, but it was a lot of dice, which is why I said only 4.
right. So I have 2 successes so far. How many did you say I needed?
One turn at a time, and you actually needed 6 to force the door, so working together, you're both able to do it.
Okay.
However, I am going to need Dex plus Athletics from everyone to see if you can get through it fast enough before it slams back shut, or if someone's stuck outside. Just straight
Can I
Dex.
use my own? Do I
Yeah, I
think
was
it
gonna-
would crush me if I stood inside and held it?
Yes, you do.
All right. I mean, even with stamina 6, I'm just checking.
It would crush you and the cyborg less, but it's still going to crush you.
All right.
You said Death and Dex Athletics?
Yep.
Ah!
Matt should roll first.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
saying.
Matt already did roll.
rolls first. All right.
3 successes.
As soon as you actually started pulling the door open, Matt's like, coming through. He's very skinny.
I had no successes.
Oof.
And do ones mean anything?
You can spend a willpower.
I would like to
probably.
spend willpower.
Ones do mean something.
Yes, they would have made you
Ones
botch.
do mean something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do ones mean just masking?
But if you
Yeah.
spend a willpower, you're okay.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a willpower, and does that get me to re-roll the whole thing?
Nope, that just means you bear minimum success.
Bare minimum success. I'll take
Gates
it.
the botch.
Thank you.
KM, what'd you get?
Had 3 successes.
Mikhail.
2.
Eric.
4.
Mikhail, you slide in last second, and you can see that Alessandra's gear gets hung up on one of the little round pegs that hits the circular hole when it closes, and you yank her through with you.
All right.
The door slams shut and claims one of Alessandra's straps.
Thank you.
No problem.
You enter the facility, and of course, the lights are flickering on and off intermittently. There's a low buzz happening. The gravity immediately increases, giving everyone difficulty 7 base for all physical activities.
Oof. Okay.
I imagine I'm starting to look a little like the Hulk at this point.
Yeah.
Like my skin's turning green.
Yep, because
Like any place where I was.
the effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. From here you can move to the facility. The entrance to the facility is just like a common area with hallways going west, east, northwest, northeast. You have a layout map. Northeast is the control room.
I'm gonna drop that communications effect I had going because I
Okay.
do not want to be sustaining a spell near the heart of the prime goof-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel it in here. Especially those of you with implants can feel something weird is happening.
As if everything is pulling and pushing at the same time.
That's them. For you, your visual spectrum keeps changing like a predator that can't stop the feed. Predator
Oh.
movie.
Grace.
All right. Where to next, boss?
Northeast is the control room.
All right.
That's a control
On
room
the
system.
way there, I'm gonna try to, like, with mind sphere, I'm gonna try to scan for consciousness.
Roll enlightenment,
Any-
difficulty 6.
You can spend a primal energy to lower the difficulty.
Yep. So turn 1, I've got 2 successes. Do I continue?
Depends. How far out are you going? It'll be longer, more turns. More radius will require more turns.
I think like 10 to 15 meter radius around me as a central point would be good.
2 is enough.
All right.
1.
So,
Alright, so-
Northwest.
Other than us, I'm detecting 1.
Correct.
So I stop moving. I'm like, okay, I'm detecting an extra consciousness other than us.
Do you have a location?
I
is
have
that Is that something I would be able to do with correspondence? To be able to...
Well, we're still telepathically linked, technically speaking. So you all know what I know.
So we all know that part.
Yeah.
Correspondence
Do we
would
know
give
what
you,
direction?
correspondence would give you more information than northwest. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, they're in the control room, probably.
Control room's northeast.
Northeast.
Oh, north. Oh, sorry.
So yeah, go ahead and roll your enlightenment against difficulty 5 for correspondence.
So just roll just the enlightenment. Just the 3. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Do we want to split the party?
Split the party where there's a giant gravitational pull and something with a distress signal. Sounds good.
It'll be all right.
It's okay. Worked for Scooby-Doo.
Work for the Nostromo.
Yeah, I've got 1 success. And you said it was a difficulty 6?
Yep.
So, yeah, 1 success.
1 success tells you it is northwest and it is approximately 17 meters forward and 3 meters up.
Huh.
The ceiling is 3 meters high.
So up a floor that way.
No, up a floor would be 4 meters up.
4 meters. Okay. I don't do metric, so
It's on the ceiling.
It's on the ceiling.
it's
Or
on
in the
ceiling.
ceiling.
In the tubes.
Or it is the ceiling.
Or is the
Well,
ceiling,
Oh,
yes.
It's in
Yeah,
the
with that
vents.
information, I draw my weapon. I unholster.
Okay, by the time we got
Jackie
inside,
doesn't
KM's
draw
already
weapons.
armed.
Yes.
Mikhail, you could also roll your enlightenment one more time against difficulty 4,
4.
since you made contact with it with the correspondence.
2 successes.
It has 2 minds.
Everybody knows that.
Okay.
One is suppressing the other.
So possession of some sort.
Possession or mind control is involved.
Nah.
And then, who is Iteration X? That's the cyborg. Cyborg, roll
Yes.
science plus wits, difficulty 6.
Science and... Oh, wow. 6 successes?
Damn.
Okay, sir.
I had two 10s. 2 10s and 2 9s.
So it's a pretty success.
Yes.
Man, this is like this is the most expensive shot in the film right here.
It's a
Lots of
Victor.
lens flare.
It's a Victor, Iteration X.
A Victor.
It's a Victor.
Lexicon.
What?
I as Dwayne. don't
Victors
know what that
are
is.
Victors are technically known as Homo superiors. They're grown in vats, tweaked to perfection, and released into the world through the genius of the progenitors, whether male or female. The designation is Victor because Frankenstein, bred and conditioned to serve designated purposes. They are clones, and they are cloned of specific people, usually real people, to replace them, like how Miley Cyrus is a clone. They're infiltration experts, public relations symbols, and other things normally. In other words, they're flesh cyborgs that can look at you and become you. Possessed.
They're
Matt processes all of this and just like unleashes a tirade of creative European curse words. And a couple Russian ones that are really impressive.
We're gonna need mind shielding.
And he says, great. And he looks at
I put on my
Alexander and
standard
says,
issue
so your
glasses.
people's genius idea was to fuse EDEs into Victors. God damn the technocracy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we should go back and reset the whole experiment.
Luckily, you don't make the choices.
Mm-hmm. You're just here to unlock the doors.
Okay, so we definitely don't split the party.
yeah. Back up and rethink this.
Okay, so I'm guessing because we got all of that from KM with that one. Right?
I would have had to have said that out
You would
loud.
have had to said the whole thing out loud. That's right.
Which I'm sure she does. You are a she.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as all that's happening, Alessandra's doing and like just rigging together like the weaponry, just the artillery, like and just
The victor is
listening.
rapidly moving towards you now.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Very rapidly.
I step to the back of the group.
And then the
Step
signal
to the front.
And then
I
the
step to
signal
the-
disappears.
What signal? The
The little
telepathic?
the little dot of the xenomorph on the tracker.
Yeah.
On the mental tracker.
Yeah. Plus,
So
all of
we
your
lose-
all of your procedures are manifested through devices, so you've all got the app up.
Yeah.
And you can actually
Mhm.
see it moving through the facility, and then it just winks out.
Anybody else got anything on it?
I'm like getting ready to punch it. You didn't give me any brawl. I need some brawl.
I wouldn't be able to sense anything with life, would I?
Yes, they do
Alive.
live.
Is it technically alive?
Yeah. Technocracy actually creates vat-grown people all the time. Player characters can be vat-grown.
Yeah, so even though it may be able to shield its mind, it may not be able to shield its life force.
Roll it, difficulty 6. Enlightenment.
One success.
You make you extrude little wires that go inside your tablet, inside Michael's tablet, and you make changes to the program, and the display fuzzes out and then winks back in, and then it does show the life form of the Victor again. It stopped just outside the room you're in. It also shows 3 more at all the other hallways going deeper into the facility, stopping just outside the hallway. You can see that hallway. You're looking right there. You don't see anything.
Player passing a thing over to Alessandra. Maybe the creature might have stepped sideways too, is something you probably would think of. In other
Okay.
words, like gone into the,
like kind of
yeah.
from one end to the other. Yeah.
Maybe
I was
they
just-
dimension hopped.
Yeah, that's what I was just because I've got a bunch of things up trying to like crash course my brain into this. But yeah, thinking that sideways step with it, but also I know I have something called a llam where I can how many do I have? Can I have a bunch? Because I would love to just like, okay, it's in the vents. It's gotta be in the vents.
Liam's, you have 2.
I have 2.
So we
Okay.
got 3 total because I've got 1 too.
I also,
Correct.
I also have.
Also have one.
Great.
Oh, then we got 4.
They're pretty standard issue technocracy grenades. Yeah.
Can we just say that we just, swiped another pack of those like as we were leaving, like just kind of like stealing the box of cigarettes, but instead it was like
No, because those are devices. Those are kept under lock and key. Those are not mundane grenades. A liam, you'll throw it in the air,
and
you'll give it its target, and it'll just chase it.
All right.
Like through corridors down.
If I can use with my correspondence to sense where the closest one is, I would like to at least, 2 is better to fight than 1, right?
One thing, if the Syndicate knows about the Victors, they're very expensive to create.
That is true, and you would prefer they didn't get destroyed, but, if it's your life or the Victor's, Eric, you're more concerned with the VATs themselves and the drive.
The facility and
Yeah.
the data.
Right. And I mean,
We represent a significant investment as well. I mean, just
Oh, yeah. We're way more expensive than the Victors.
yeah. Do we know, and this is just like me brain backtracking because my brain's going alien possession, like interdimensional alien possession on all of these things. Do we know how many people were supposed to have been in this facility in the first place?
6.
6. Okay. So we have 3 beings currently around
no.
us.
4, but the Victors are not the people from the facility.
But they have 2 minds going on with them.
Victors have their own mind. They're basically cloned humans.
So the human mind is inside of them as well. Okay,
Yep.
okay. Ew, gross.
However,
okay.
these are not the staff. You've
are
used
not.
life to search, and you've used forces, but you haven't used other spheres to search.
So we've used mine so far, and
Yep.
life.
Could I use dimensional science to search?
You can go ahead and roll Enlightenment difficulty 5, and then any other spheres people want to use.
We used. I'm so sorry. Which ones were that we already used? We used
Mind,
Mind and life.
And forces.
mind, life, forces. So, and then I think I used
look with Prime.
correspondence. All right, so I'll just roll for correspondence and for dimensional science then, if we've already used forces.
Looking through Prime would blind you. You probably shouldn't do that. But
Right.
there are other spheres.
I'm probably like, that was a mistake.
It's like, oops.
So much
It's
pride.
really freaking bright in here. Do not try to
All right,
look
so
at the primal energy.
you said it's enlightenment plus that sphere, correct?
Nope, always just Enlightenment for Ascension. Smaller dice pools, more rolls.
Gotcha. Cool. Great. All right, so I'll do one for dimensional. You said that's a difficulty 7? 6?
6. 5.
Six? Okay,
I
Just
cool.
thought you
five for
said
you.
five.
5. Okay, so that's
5 to
one
scan.
success still.
Okay, so you
and-
are able to tell that there are 8 entities in the facility, at least in the immediate area.
Mhm. And I'm also using correspondence as well with that too. So that
All
was
of the
then 2
entities
other
connect to the
successes.
massive energy source at the center of the facility.
All
they-
of them?
Yeah, they came from it. The entities, not the background people. The background people connect to some room on the far left, to the far west wing.
We need to close that thing so that the number stays 8.
Yeah, but we don't know what that thing is yet.
Any other
Right.
spheres? To try.
I really don't want to use entropy. If I do it wrong, hey guys, they're here.
There's still one more. The one no one ever thinks of.
Time?
Time.
No, well,
Or
yes,
matter.
but no. Yeah, there you go.
Am I the only one with matter?
Yeah.
I also have it, but I have active effects, so I'm
DC
kind
5.
of laying low on the sensing.
That's 4. Or wait, no, 2, 4. That's 5.
Yeah, there are 6 dead humans in this facility. 3 in the control center, 1 at the massive energy source, and the other 2 on the west wing somewhere.
I don't think we have to worry about finding the company assets.
Also, 3 of the 6 are in more than one spot.
Oh, okay.
We could probably just put them in a bag on our way out.
Maybe several
Works
bags.
for me.
All right. What's the game plan, boss?
Well, we don't have to focus on survivors, but we know we have 8 things to get through, and even if we just lay eyes on what the problem is in the center, we can figure out how to fix it from there.
And that is when you can hear, because you're all connected to it still, to the Wi-Fi, you can hear the outgoing distress signal changes. And it's actually an incoming signal, not an outgoing, and it's going to a private line. Since you're tapped into the Wi-Fi, and we're still in the same scene, I'll let you intercept the message too. This would be for the cyborg mostly. It's coming from one Lacey Chung. Lacey seems to be asking for somebody by their pet name, so it must be a girlfriend.
What's the name?
Oh, Gummy Bear.
Okay. I was hoping that
It's just not Sour Patch
had
Kid.
some significance. I'll just turn around and be like, "Is there a gummy bear here?"
You know that's not for any of you. That's probably for one of these dead 6 people, like the girlfriend of somebody is trying to call in. However, it's significant because 2 of the victors immediately peel off.
Oh.
They intercepted that signal too. Why would they care?
Where can I tell where that signal's coming from?
Yes, it's being routed through a radio tower in the nearest city. Well, wow. It's not a city, it's a town. I can't remember the name of the town. What's the Air Force Base? Help.
Colorado Springs.
In Antarctica? I have no idea.
Yeah.
McMurdo?
McMurdo. It's
McMurdo, yeah.
It's coming from McMurdo and the little town around it. And then 2 of the victors peeled off. If they intercepted the signal, they now know where all the people are.
Okay, they can't leave this facility. We need to contain this as fast.
All right.
Listen, we'd really rather not destroy the facility.
You really
Okay.
don't want them to get out.
Both.
Yes.
Both is the best answer.
Both.
Yes.
Both is the
All
answer.
right.
It doesn't get us reassigned to the front lines.
And of
Great,
course,
so-
that's also
Where do you
when the
think we
energy
are?
and of course, that's also when the energy signature in the middle of the base triples immediately. It might be overloading.
We need to get to the control center.
Immediately.
Might have to split
Yeah.
the party.
Could I not just send the llam after 2 of them and destroy them, and then those 2 that are running, we can go get them?
That's 4 of 8. You don't know where the other 4 are.
Well, fine.
Matt says he's got to get to the
Control.
device itself because that's why he's here. Plus, he's not fighting any of these things. That's your fucking job.
All right, I'm gonna go with.
I'll
Matt
guard
because-
All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
Okay, so the doc's
Unless-
going with Matt. Who else?
I feel like I should go with Matt, but also I want to put things.
You have the best shot at shooting escaping victors, actually.
All right, we're gonna go get escaping victors. I'll go with this.
So where do you order the cyborg to go and Eric and Mikhail?
I am mostly a non-combatant.
Yes.
Eric
is here to
entirely
protect
a
you.
non-combatant.
I don't know. Any volunteers before I say things?
I'm required to follow all your orders.
I don't like giving orders. Meredith does not like giving orders. I'm probably gonna have the
Eric would volunteer to go with Matt because there's less danger that way from the monsters.
yeah, okay. I'll probably have KM come with me just so that we can make sure that we can get those done. And then Mikhail,
Mikhail probably can shoot too. He's a man in black.
he's a man in black. Okay. But the others aren't. Well, they've got the Hulk with them, right? So,
Yeah. Plus, you've
Alright.
actually seen the suits Mikhail is wearing. You can shoot it point blank from 3 feet with a 45 and the bullet will flatten and fall off.
perfect. Okay.
Those suits are cool.
Then let's go. So that would be KM, Mikhail, and Alessandra going to stop the bad guys, if that's okay. That's everyone down with that?
Makes sense. Also, Dr. Sanders and KM are definitely in communication.
That would be good to let
Yep.
us know if anything goes south elsewhere.
We will focus on the group going to the control center first. So you 3 make your way through the facility, and the closer you get, the weirder you feel. It's like disassociation. Like you're disconnecting from yourself and you're not in the right body. It may be a familiar sensation to some of you, it may not, but it's not comfortable whether you're familiar with it or not. Also, it's giving you weird headaches, like sinus pressure headaches, but in your brain, not in your sinuses. And you start seeing things out of the corner of your eyes, like hallucinations.
Shit's
Those
getting
are
weird
you.
over here. I
Yeah,
kind of wish we
I would
brought
like
the
to
mind
make an
scientist.
Can I try to shield our minds from this?
You're not there anymore. You're split off from them.
Oh, okay, that's the other. Okay,
That's yep.
I can do something to try to keep us safe.
What you
I
got?
can use Entropy to try to decrease, to give everyone that's not us worse luck, anyone around us. So basically make their difficulties higher.
Seems wise.
Mhm. It's not much, but it's something.
As soon as you reach out with those senses, which you haven't used yet, you immediately sense that yes, whatever energy this device is shooting out is rapidly changing probability. That's probably the hallucinations. You may be seeing your own timelines diverging and splitting here. So yes, you reconsider and say, I guess I should shield this.
Mhm.
An entropy ward seems wise.
Yeah, I will spend willpower on this.
Okay. Difficulty 6.
Alright. Three successes.
Nice. The hallucinations lessen but don't disappear. The ward doesn't seem to be working as effectively on Matt, but it's working fine on you and the doctor.
Matt, you got to keep your mind together.
Hey, why
Just
isn't
keep.
it working now?
He looks at you, and you simultaneously hear him say 3 things. I'm working on it. I'm trying real hard, and fuck you. You don't know which one was your Matt.
I'm assuming all 3 because that's a mind one trick, right?
This is more because you're actually seeing probabilities diverge
Oh,
in
I see
real
what you're
time.
saying. Yeah.
Oh.
You make your way as far into the facility as you could get, and you see a giant reinforced blast door that is sealed shut in front of you. Matt goes to work on it, but Matt also doesn't go to work on it, and Matt also runs away screaming. Is there anything the two of you would like to do?
I follow the one that goes to work on it.
Okay.
Same. I'm also going to pull out my taser.
Okay.
I hand Eric the other grenade, the other llam.
Now I have 2.
Yeah.
You have 2 liams, and you also pull out your taser, which is somehow simultaneously a mace. That's weird.
So you said it's a blast door that's sealed shut.
Yeah, this Matt is trying to bypass it.
I would like to loan my technology / whatever I can to assist Matt. Number 2.
So, if you have any dots in science or technology, which you all should, you can translate that if you have a sphere you think will help into giving Matt an assist equal to your sphere. So convince
Matter.
me the sphere, both of you. Matter, yes.
Entropy.
Luck is luck, so you have entropy at 3,
I
right?
was going to say the breaking down of the machine.
Oh yeah, even better to break the door's pneumatic controls down. You have 3, right, in entropy?
Yes.
And you have 2 in matter?
Wouldn't matter.
That's a lot of dice. Matt gets through the door, but Matt also doesn't get through the door, and Matt activates the door countermeasures, which kills Matt. The door is open! And inside, I know you've all seen Event Horizon, right? It's the gravitational drive from Event Horizon in its active mode, where the liquid in the middle is actually moving like it's sentient, and the wheels are the interlocked rings are spinning madly. And then whatever water it's laying on top of is like bubbling fiercely, like it's boiling.
You know how to turn this thing off, Matt?
He's like, sure. All the Matts say that in that sarcastic tone of voice.
That's not good.
He moves over to a control panel and starts manipulating it.
Tell me everything you know about it. Quick.
Looks like this was a beta device. This was a, what do you call it, prototype. And its purpose was to be able to connect to specific dimensions, capture the nearest entities, and contain them. But it had some kind of fault, translation, paradox. And it can only connect to one dimension and they can't close it. So the things are just free to come in and out as they please. And they tried to attach themselves to the weakest minds in the facility, which are the victors, which are like newborn children.
What happens if we just shut off the power?
I don't know if I can. This thing is sustaining itself.
Ah, shit. I don't know. My brain is working on it with my mega int at the moment, trying to see if I can come up with a workaround to self-powered dimensional engine.
And at that moment, the water actually splashes out of the pool underneath the device, and the water steps out as a humanoid form. Clearly something else came through. Looks around at all of you, tosses Matt into the water, and charges the two of you. That's where we'll switch to the other group for a second.
Okay.
The three of you are chasing down the two that are running. And you're chasing them on your tracker, and you're keeping up with them, but only because you're moving at full speed. Which would exhaust probably anyone else who'd been in your group. Three of you chose wisely for physically fit. Well, maybe not the doctor with the enhancements. And the creatures are about 20 yards from, not the main doors, but the rear exit from the facility, when two more of them drop down directly above you from the air conditioning ducts blocking your way.
Yay.
Sweet.
Okay.
We'll let you go in overlay order instead of initiative, so it'll be the cyborg, and then Alessandra, and then Mikhail. They'll go last.
So would KM have enough time to pull up her weapon?
Yes.
Or is this something to where she's just gonna have to rush through these guys and
No, you
lariat
can
them?
you can shoot them.
Well, let's go with some boom cracks.
Which weapon?
We'll keep it easy right now. We'll just go with the WW3 assault rifle.
Hint. There's only 20-ish minutes left. Go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
A victor could take a hit from an assault rifle and keep coming.
Well, then I guess we're gonna go big.
So KM just looks at it and holds KM's arm out, and KM's arm folds apart, and like a giant barrel comes out like an anime cartoon. No, it's bigger than that. Like, it's bigger than the arm can contain.
Yeah, it expands as it opens.
Sick.
Yeah. And the whole thing is pulsing blue. Go ahead and
Love
take
this
your
implant.
shot.
Oh, what is that? Is this a man-sized target?
Now, the first thing you have to do is activate the gun with its own
Oh, yeah.
enlightenment. So roll that as a dice pool first. And yes, this is a man-sized target. There's two of them. If you want to waste more, not waste, but spend more charges. Primal energy charges.
Alright, so I gotta roll Dex and Energy to deploy. If I don't blow my arm off. Yep. What's the,
Six.
Six. So that's 2 successes to deploy.
That's enough to activate the gun safely. Now you can roll to hit.
Difficulty 6 again.
Yep.
I assume that there's no one to witness this witness this ridiculousness that's about to go down.
Inside this facility is a consensual space for you guys.
That's 3 successes.
Okay, roll damage. Plus,
I know what the damage is.
What power level did you choose?
Isn't
As it says 8 damage dice here, 200-yard range, full auto.
No, that's the assault rifle. She's using her built-in plasma cannon.
Yeah, my plasma
okay.
cannon.
Right.
It just says 1 discharge is a point of primal.
Right, but what target size did you pick? Because it's multiple target sizes.
human, right?
He's got man size, then he has small room, then he has large building.
I just would have went with man size.
Man sized, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's only 1 point of primal energy from your bullets. That's essentially... It requires a 6-hour recharge once you use them all. Go ahead and roll 15 dice for me.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay.
6, 7, 9.
It's a plasma cannon. Come on.
almost exalted size dice.
Oh my god.
You could just
Huzzah!
type it. that's more dice than I have. It's more D10 than I have.
That was very good.
What was it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. So let me check real quick.
It's more than half.
That passes a class.
I was looking at their armor. Okay, and then you got 3 successes on the attack roll, so add 2 dice to roll those.
That's 2.
10 total. Yeah, so that's 7 after their armor. You hit it, and you blow its left torso clean off. Like it's just gone and cauterized instantly, too. It looks down at it. It looks at you. It looks mad. Alessandra.
Well, if we're going big, then I'm going to use the question mark.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to blink this thing out of existence, please.
The damaged one or the undamaged one?
Is there any splashback? Like, could I, like, do one of those cool sci-fi things where it kind of hits to the left? If they're close?
You could do correspondence roll first, yes, so that would be difficulty 5. Roll enlightenment.
Alright, roll enlightenment. That's the one. Okay. Come on, baby. 2 9s, yes. 2 successes.
Countermeasures does not save him, so yes, you can roll for 1 and hit both.
Still, yes, style points. Great. All right, cool. All right, so then what would? Okay, I'm trying to look at what I would need to roll for
Firearms
this
plus dex.
Firearms and dex.
And then with that gun, it just works or it doesn't.
Okay. Firearms and dex, so it's gonna be out of 6, please. It's 1, 2. So it's out of 6, right? It's difficulty 6.
Yep.
All right, that's 4 successes.
The undamaged one suddenly looks very confused. Why am I here? What are my orders? And it goes into standby mode. The heavily damaged one falls over and dies. It was only held together by the entity. I mean, it is moving, missing from here over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you banish the entities. The victors should be here. You didn't banish them. You can sprint past them now. They're just going to look at you.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe the NIMBY actually specifies that if you hit a target from it shunts them to a random location within like 150 yards or something like that.
Yes, but because I was letting Mira add correspondence, she was able to separate the entity from the victor in that instance.
Nice. That's some cool shit.
I'm doing what I do.
You sprint further down the hallway, and just as you get to the rear entrance, you have countermeasures, right? Cyborg, yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. You feel them kick in right as a flashbang hits the ground, and you're all heavily disoriented, both mentally and your eyes, though. You're having a hard time orienting yourself to where you should be in the hallway, except for the cyborg. You know exactly where you should be standing. And when the flash clears, there's you, KM, and then there's 2 Mikhails and 2 Alessandras. And you don't know which is which. They don't know which is which.
Aren't we still telepathically connected?
You are. But it doesn't tell you the spatial location. It just lets you communicate with the mind.
Okay.
Because you're all in the same
So-
hallway, your telepathy just says, yeah, we're all in the same hallway.
Okay, so I'm telepathically, since we're linked. Oh, well, yeah, but do I see there's a double of me?
Oh,
and a
yeah.
double of.
2 of the victors
Okay,
have
so-
copied you, and they used a mind effect to make you not be able to tell which one is you and which isn't.
All right.
You might be able to
sees
do
this-
something about that because you're a mind mage. And you're first because you didn't get a turn yet.
All right. So what I'm going to try to do with mental spheres, I'm going to try to isolate our minds. In the set, not isolate, but what I mean is, before we act, we're all going to have kind of like a head start mentally of like we're going to be doing that action, then physically we do that action, so we can tell each other apart.
Okay. Roll Enlightenment difficulty 7.
No. 7. I am going to burn a willpower.
Okay. So you have already freed yourself, but you need at least one more success to free Alessandra. Well, 2. 1 to complete the spell and 1 to free her.
And that is 3 successes.
Nice. So the effect works. But then the victors act because they were next.
Fair enough.
I don't know. KM sees this as a good thing, and we now have 2 more backup.
Oh no, they were copying you and using a mind effect to disorient you so you would shoot each other. You might also shoot them, but they don't care, they don't feel pain. That's the thing that victors have in common. That's why the other one was just mad for a minute. So, either KM or Alessandra can dodge if you want. If you do, you're splitting your pool for the rest of the turn. Which means you only get half of your attribute pool to any action you take, including the dodge. Or you can get punched and see what happens.
KM will get punched and see what happens.
Okay.
I guess I'll get punched.
Okay.
I'm wearing a suit, right? I'm wearing the suit.
You do have 1 armor, which is removing 1 damage. What's your armor rating, KM?
4.
4. It only hits you for 4 points of damage and propels you into the wall, which dents. Like a matrix punch. And you see that its arm is like morphed into Colossus steel. Because victors usually have built-in enhancements too.
Mm-hmm.
The other one only does 2 health levels of damage to you, Alessandra. But it also does a martial arts maneuver on you. And it hits you so hard that it temporarily knocks the wind out of you, and you're unable to breathe unless you have something, which I don't think you did, where you don't need to breathe. Which gives you a +2 difficulty penalty to all actions for the next turn while you gasp for air. It hits you right in the throat.
Great. Got Judy chopped.
Yep. It's back to KM.
Oh, that's sad. Oh. Are there any what you call it? Like I assume that this facility has like a proper lockdown, like the storm shutter, like steel.
Oh, it is
Wall
already
fall down.
locked down, but you know
Oh,
they'll
it's
be
already-
able to. They'll tear through it if you don't stop them.
Well, I mean, if these things are so powerful, we're just gonna have to take them down the hard way. We're more plasma in the face.
Bigger area this time.
Would it affect those around me?
Probably.
Like my party members. Fuck it.
There's this cool effect in Warhammer where they talk about what it's like to be a foot soldier underneath like a mech, battle mech. And when the gun fires, sometimes the shockwave like kills the people below it. You'll be fine. Roll to hit.
Oh, I have to activate. Or do I have to activate deploy every time, or?
No. For the scene, you're good.
Okay. That was...
You are burning charges, though.
Yes, which this is my last one. That is 2 successes to hit.
Okay, roll 15 dice, then 5 dice, then 2 dice. Keep the results separate. Difficulty is 6 for all. 15, 5, 2.
Mm, 15, 7. So it's 15, 5, and what?
2.
7, 2, 2.
Okay. So you both take 2 damage, which means after armor you take none, KM, and you take 1 health level, Alessandra. But you're still both pretty hurt. KM looks less hurt because KM has more health levels than you. Mm-hmm. But you're still 3 down, so what does that say on the sheet? I can't even remember. It's not mauled.
No, if I'm 3 down, because I went bruised, hurt, injured.
Yeah. So you actually you can roleplay what the injury is if you've got a pretty severe burn now.
Okay.
KM is missing sections of plating from the punch, like it crumpled in.
Okay,
but
so
there's nothing left of the 2 victors. You disintegrated them and part of the wall.
Bye.
Well, that's 2 out of 4, right? Or the other?
That's 4 out of 8, and then that's when you realize the other 4 are running for the other door. But that's what the grenades are for.
Yeah.
Rocket-propelled auto-homing grenades. Now's the time.
Yeah, so if it's my turn with that one?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I've got, how many? I had 2 of those, just like, yeah, like very upset. Very mad. Sitting there doing, like, having a moment of, like, and just cursing. Just whips out the 2 and just, like, whatever needs to happen to, like, homing beacon, make them go and do the thing. Whatever I gotta do.
The rockets take off, and that's when you hear very staticky through your comm. Get in here quick! Jesus Christ, we need help! So now we're going to jump back to the other guys. One of you will have to actually make that call. The spirits are rushing you, and they just toss Matt in that weird bubbly water.
I'm gonna step back behind the giant doctor man.
You said it was like a liquid entity of some sort?
Whatever that weird fluid they're using is, it's more like quicksilver than liquid. The spirit stepped out in its form to throw Matt into the water, but then the water just, whatever it is, turns back into liquid and hits the ground, and the ephemeral entity is charging you. Probably wants to possess you.
Is it registering on matter?
Nope. To see it,
All
you
right.
would need Dimensional Science, Prime, or Forces.
Well, Prime is screwed. So yeah.
Yep, Forces or Dimensional Science would allow you to see it.
I guess I don't even see it then.
Is there anything you want to try to do anyways, knowing that they're coming at you?
I'm gonna say I think I might be getting possessed over the mental link. If we can still reach the other group at all, looking for any help.
Come help us, Jesus Christ! I think I'm getting possessed.
Yeah. But other than that, I grab my vape just in case a target that I can hit in this world shows up.
Okay.
But no, I don't think I have anything for that one. Sorry.
The other ephemeral entity just dances around the beefy doctor and heads towards Eric. Do you have either forces or dimensional science?
Nope.
Nope.
That would be me.
You want to try to throw up a ward of some kind against it?
I have entropy.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
We do have our entropy ward up.
Yeah.
What's your other sphere? Oh, you switched it to
Prime
prime.
and time.
Right. Yeah, so what do you want to do to it entropically?
I guess fuck up its luck.
Okay. Enlightenment, difficulty 5.
We're spending a willpower. And we're gonna spend that primal energy.
Seems wise. Difficulty 4.
2.
2 successes. Okay. Yeah, so you were able to remove all of its attack successes, and you just like that ghost feeling where the temperature drops and the ambient energy changes, and there's an ominous feeling, but nothing happens.
I thought of something that I'll do.
Okay.
I'll
Good,
set
I
up
was about to possess you.
a kill switch idea that if I don't every turn input a command in my DEI, that my cybernetic frame that is like lacing my bones will just stop responding.
Okay. We'll apply that as a penalty equal to your dots in the sphere, which is what? 2?
Matter 2, yeah.
Which means it needs 4 successes to succeed at all because of the entropy ward. It does not. It does possess you, but then you shut down and it gets really frustrated and immediately leaves.
I assume this turn I'm just like completely frozen. Like,
For the rest of this turn, yes.
yeah.
Which leaves only Eric when Matt comes pulling himself out of the water. And he looks at you, and his eyes are completely vacant. It's like he's looking through you, and he says, "I've seen it all." And then he walks back to the control panel and starts pushing buttons.
We should probably stop that one.
It's just you!
I'm gonna tase him. I'm gonna run over and tase him.
Okay, roll Dex plus, nothing
Just
for
Dex?
you,
I
right?
don't
Yeah.
have- I'm gonna spend willpower.
Oh my god.
I got a 7. So
Okay.
2 successes.
You tase Matt. The taser hits him, and then there's an explosion deeper in the facility and another explosion. Sounded like Liam's going off.
Oh, good.
So you glance away, and when you glance back at Matt, you're still holding the taser, but the charging prongs are not connected to it anymore. They're still just connected to Matt. But instead of electrocuting him, it's like it's powering him up.
Fuck.
And then, like, the part of his body where they hit turns into that weird Quicksilver, and they just fall out. And he looks at you and says, "You shouldn't have done that." And he tries to fling you across the room with the force of his mind. Because he's a marauder now. Yeah. Go ahead and roll your enlightenment for me.
My highest number was a 4, so
Okay. Your entropy ward does help. Your entropy ward makes you land on Dr. Sanders instead of the ground.
he's so soft.
Exactly. But you still take 1 point of damage.
Not at all soft.
Softer than the steel of the floor, though, probably.
I don't know, stamina 6.
So this is when the rest of them come sprinting into the room. And now we're not really going to act in initiative on this. You can do we react to this how you want. You don't know what newly transformed as Matt is doing to the control panel, but it's clear to all of you now that you've telepathically reconnected and are sharing information again, what's happening. You've defeated all the victors, but you have a bigger problem.
There's still 2 entities in this room, I believe.
So, as soon as the rest of the group comes in, and you're telepathically connected again, Alessandra activates her devices that are dimensional science based, and they're there. There's 5 more of them too, and they're all just kind of hovering in place nearby Matt.
I take a giant hit off of the vape.
Okay.
And exhale an acidic compound that will act as like a rating whatever I get toxin for lethal damage against Matt.
Roll it.
Nice. 4.
Okay. The acid cloud hits him. He actually does scream because you could see it like scarring his face immediately. But then the spirits rush into him and it stops. All of them rush into him and then it stops. And you can see Alessandra, they're all layered over top of him, but he's on top. He's not suppressed like it was with the victors. They're following his bidding.
Would I?
Go ahead.
No, with dimensional science, would I be able? I'm looking at things I could possibly do. Would I? Because they're not. Are they within this same dimension, or are they kind of layered inside? Like
they are in your dimension currently.
They're in our dimension currently. Okay. It says I have like a phase disruption field, like that can disable, harm, or disrupt an EDE. Is that helpful or no?
The NIMBY is one of those as well.
The NIMBY is one of those.
You
it's
could
an even more powerful effect.
And
yes, that will help.
So,
yes.
all right, I would like to do one of those 2 things. So, just something if I can like get those beings that are like that, like that whooped into him, and just kind of
roll firearms plus dex plus bonus equal to dimensional science dots.
Okay, so 3 arms, 6 dex, 9. Okay, I'll take 9. Come on, baby. What was the difficulty?
6.
2 successes.
As you fire, he pulls the last lever, because now there's levers on the keypad. He pulls the last lever.
Well, he wanted there to be a lever, so it showed up,
Exactly.
Rotters.
Exactly. And then he laughs maniacally and says, I can stop all of this before it ever started. And the device stops spinning. And the liquid splits open and you can see through on the other side. And it's a smog-ridden city. Looks very much like Victorian London. And you fire the gun and it hits him. But there's too much paradox in this room. How much paradox does everyone have total if you add it all up?
1.
No, total. 4.
Oh, Darf.
So that's 9, 10, 11, 12.
Plus
On
he
us.
has 8. So that's 20.
He
Okay.
pushes it onto
So
us.
that's 20.
That's
Great, good, nice, even number.
0 means none, so it's only 2.
So it's only 2.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's just
Divided by the number of dimensions, divided by the number of
So
bad guys.
1.
Well, you're lucky. He rolled some 1s. So he only got 8 successes. So would have been like 11, yeah. The paradox erupts in the room, shorting out all your devices, temporarily shorting out KM.
And me.
And yeah. And Dr. Sanders actually violently rejects the injection that they took earlier. Just collapses and has foaming at the mouth incident. And then the shockwave sends you all flying. The shockwave sends you all flying, and it sends Matthew flying into the portal, along with Alessandra, which then collapses shut, and the rings hit the ground with a massive clanging noise of metal.
Bye.
It's nice to know you.
The four of you stand up and shake it off, disoriented, a couple of minutes later, and look at each other. What do you do? Technically, mission
Did any of
accomplished.
that paradox go away in my pool?
It's all gone for all of you.
All right. Well, aside from the part
Except
that
for your
never goes
permanent,
away.
yeah.
Except for my permanent.
Permanent doesn't go away. You all did take 2 bashing damage on top of what you already have. That might have knocked some of you out. I don't think so, though.
No.
Well, whatever it was, the effect stopped here. We're gonna have to get a new void engineer to come analyze what happened.
Spoken like a true technocrat. But he got a replacement.
Is the drive operational still, or is it just like in stand down? Is it still emanating?
It fell apart.
Like,
It physically
so-
fell
like-
apart. The rings collapsed to the ground. The energy's gone.
Shit.
We're done.
We'll take it. Not with us, but except for the loss.
Any final words from these particular characters, who some of them may return in future adventures? Except for Alessandra, you don't have any final words at the moment.
Bye.
Nothing. Okay, so KM2. You return to your home facility. You visit room 101 for reconditioning and wiping, because that's top secret. And you're sent back to your amalgam. Life carries on. You don't question the lost time. Mikhail. You decide you don't have to mind wipe the agents. None of them, they all, except for Matt, operated admirably. But you do end up mind wiping all of Alessandra's extended family. Alessandra is removed from this reality.
Jesus.
Sorry. Gotta be done.
Dr. Sanders. You return to your lab. What is it you're working on?
I'm collaborating with a void engineer to make a ghost juice that makes you protected against EDs.
Okay. You redouble your efforts after this incident.
Yeah.
Needed now more than ever. Mikhail, you just carry on. You don't question your orders. That was just another mission. And Eric, you're glad to be out of there. You're like, I got the data. That was terrible. And in 2 days, you've got an appointment anyways.
Awesome.
With a very rich friend of yours.
That friend, I want to talk to him real fast about setting up a scholarship in STEM for young women in honor of my missing friend. Technocracy needs new recruits.
It does. And you could throw $1 billion at that.
Only one?
You don't have 8 dots of resources yet.
Change.
I didn't say it was my money.
That's true. You could just start the foundation, yes. You have a meeting with a friend of yours who is also very rich, and a couple other friends who are less rich, but still your friends, and you're going to head out to this remote island in former British territory in the Pacific Ocean. You're being pitched on turning it into a luxury resort. It's a caldera, but the volcano's long dead. You're going to make it a new premier luxury destination. What could go wrong? Alessandra, the portal snaps back open, and you go flying through the air and land in a heap with Matt, in a pile, on top of a lady dressed in Victorian clothing, who, when you hit her, says in a very American English accent, "What the fuck?" And she is in front of the steampunkiest steampunk device you've ever seen. It's got dials and levers and buttons, and it looks a lot like the steampunk TARDIS control panel, but bigger.
Lots of levers.
Yeah, and it is busily shorting out. And in the last moments before your data pad just fails, like it just shorts out, catches on fire, it reads out to you that it's the exact same time of day, but it's exactly 120 years in the past. It would seem this person was also trying to activate a device to move to your era at the same exact time in very different centuries. So the anomaly pulled you and Matt here. The three of you hit the ground, a brief scuffle ensues, but Matt escapes with a piece of the device. That's not good. Because now you can't get home. Neither can this other rando you crashed into. And God knows what he's going to do. So, for the audience who wasn't here at the beginning, this is a three-part story, because we are also running Mage Victorian Age later today, and Mage Rich Bastard's Guide to Magic tomorrow, and some of the characters carry over. So, in our Victorian era story in a couple hours, you can watch Alessandra and some of her other friends chase Matt through the Victorian era as he kidnaps the Queen's son in a mad attempt to stop the Technocracy before it could start, because Queen Victoria is a technocrat. And this is how the Order of Reason truly came to power. So, we hope you enjoyed our mission debrief. And if you enjoyed seeing Technocracy Reloaded or thought the base story was cool, possessed victors in a remote lab in Antarctica, you should check out Technocracy Reloaded. And still on Backer Kit. You can get the Backer PDF now. You can also check out the Operatives Dossier when it comes out. That's where we got the story from. It is a collection of stories specifically for Technocracy amalgams. And you should definitely make sure you stay tuned to Vorpal Tales, Twitch and YouTube to see more of this game and many other Onyx games. The next chapter of this story will happen at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You can find us, twitch.tv/VorpalTales, youtube.com/c/VorpalTales, VorpalTales.com. We have much Onyx Path deliciousness, including Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage the Awakening, Mage the Ascension, and They Came Beyond the Grave, and that's just summer. Be sure you go over to Onyx Path Twitch and follow it. Make sure you go over to Vorpal Tales and follow it. Make sure you go to Carry and Comfort and follow them. And follow here on Dork Tales, who is hosting us all White Wolf World of Darkness games for the con. We all thank you for all of our support, because it helps keep awesome things like this going and keeps us all out of Room 101. Now, players, one last time, let everyone know who you are and where they can find you. Beginning with Dwayne.
Yes, I am Dwayne, made of kimchi on the internet. Was playing Iteration XKM21. Next time you guys can see me during this con, we'll be running a Scion game at 9 p.m. this evening. I don't know what channel, though.
Scion is on Vorpal Tales because we are the home of Storypath. Meredith.
Hi. My name is Mare. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Oh Hello Mare. I have been Alessandra, and you will see me as Alessandra again very shortly at 6 p.m. Eastern Time in Victorian Mage. Very excited.
Corey.
Hey, I'm Corey, aka Narf. I will next be playing in the Frostlands of Finrilic on
Plastic Age Plays.
Thank you. Because that's the home of Scarred Lands content.
Yep.
I also work on a game called Caves of Cud. It's a PC game. You might want to go check that one out. But yeah.
And Alan.
Hey, my name is Alan, also known as Exencurse. You can find me on Twitter at @theeldritch_L. And today I've played Mikael Hawthorne, the NWO, who unfortunately didn't mind wipe everyone. But that's fine. And you can find me next in about an hour for Victorian Age, and afterwards for Scion.
Last but certainly not least, Ben.
Hey, I'm Ben, also known as Big Dad. You can find me over at Carry and Comfort Studios, or tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on Gehenna Gaming, where I am running Shadowrun to raise money for the Trevor Project.
Shadowrun.
You
That's
can
awesome.
donate and actually influence the game. And for those of you that know, we're playing in the 2050s in Chicago.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow you'll get to see him in Rich Bastard's Guide to Magic at the con, which he'll get a lot more things to do in that one. Hopefully.
I had plenty to do.
That is true.
Like Panic.
And
You tased someone, okay? You
tased the
someone.
supervillain.
You did very good.
And I am Tyler, Eldritch Echoes Online. I'll be running Victorian Age today. I'll be running Rich Bastard's Guide tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll be playing And They Came From Classified with Matthew Dawkins in the lead. It's going to be awesome.
That's really cool.
For the audience, make sure you stay mutual by checking out all the other awesome panels and shows. There's still a lot left. And we'll see you there, because the Panopticon is always watching. Good night.